Yo, what up? All right, so this is scary as shit. I'm about to show you some of my best money-making strategies that I've never shown anybody. As a side note, I'm around some influencers and I've heard them kind of say the same thing. Well, here, share the thing that you're the most scared of talking about. And so in this course, I'm going to do that. But when I'm sitting there getting this advice from them, at the time, it sounds like, okay, cool, whatever. And then you get up here and you start doing it and you feel like butt naked or something. It's very, very vulnerable. Anyways, let me get into it. My name is Chris Gray. I'm an entrepreneur. I love my family. I love business, love jiu-jitsu, love hip hop. You didn't come here to know all that. There might be an about me section if you care to, but what you came here to learn, what I'm going to show you is how you can easily generate leads and then instantly monetize them so you can cover your cost. This sounds simple, but if you do this is a superpower because it'll put you way ahead of your competition. Let me give you a quick story that kind of will give you an idea of what we're doing here. My mom had a really bad backache, and I had a similar backache. I paid a fair amount of money to get that resolved, and there was really one stretch that helped me the most. So I YouTubed the stretch, sent it to my mom. My mom did the stretch for a week. She calls me back. Who do you think my mom was the most grateful to? Was she grateful to YouTube, the actual URL, the website, the business? No, she wasn't grateful to YouTube. Was she grateful to the person who actually did the video, the person who owns the channel, took the time to make the video? No, she was grateful to me, the person who went to YouTube, found the video, and sent it to her. She had gratitude towards me. This concept kind of explains what we're going to do when we build a list. You're going to take an asset, something that you probably didn't create, but it's going to be very helpful for somebody else. You're going to give it to them. It's going to help them so much so that they're going to want more and come back and sign up for your list because they're grateful to you. And then when they're on your list, we're going to find ways to instantly monetize them over and over and over again. Another way to say is think of it like you bought this seed, right? You have the seed. It's a super powerful seed, whatever it is. You plant it and it instantly grows fruit. So now you can then sell the fruit to cover the cost of the seed. But guess what? You still have the seed. It's still growing fruit. So you're monetizing it and selling it over and over and over again. That's a couple ways of explaining what we're about to do. I'm going to show you some ways that I've done it, show you some things that I've never shown anybody. And I hope it's helpful to you. Anyways, appreciate you watching. Look forward to doing all this. Let's get cracking. Hey, yo, what up? All right, so here's something dope. Throughout this entire course, I'm going to share some secrets with you that I've never told anyone. One of those secrets that I will share here in this part generated over 1.2 million. So I hope that you take the concept I give you when I share this secret. I hope that you take this concept and then make it yours. So let's get into it. Before we jump into all this, let's talk about what hooks are. So hooks, a hook, if you think of a hook from a song perspective, a hook is that catchy part of the song that gets stuck in your head. So here we have my man Snoop D-O-double-G. And if I walked up to you and said, and assuming that you are a hip hop fan or you know anything about Snoop, if I walked up to you and said, "When the pimp's in the crib, ma," you may be able to finish that if you're a fan. Or if you're old like me and I said 1, 2, 3 into the, you would know what I'm talking about. You'd be able to finish that because that was a hook in the song that was catchy. It stuck with you. What we are looking to do is the business version of that. We want to give them something that sticks with them and ideally makes them want to take another step, whether it's buying something or getting more information from you. That's a hook. Here is something in business that I don't think most entrepreneurs understand. Whoever gets customers at the lowest cost wins, point blank. And ultimately, if you have a really good hook, it's going to help you get more customers at a lower cost and ideally get a bunch of customer data, which we'll talk about. So let me give you a quick example of how I did this. And this is how I generated 1.2 million. Never showed anybody this entire model. Let's jump into it. I sell expensive ass seasoning. I'm into smoking food, got into it, found a seasoning, decided to make a product out of it. It was a passion product. It turned into a business. It's a pain in the ass because it's a business now, but I'm fortunate because it's generating revenue, passion project that turned into a business. By the way, be careful of turning your passions into work because they become work. Whole other subject. Let me get to it. So anyways, I have this expensive ass seasoning and we were primarily marketing through social media. We had one primary channel and we weren't competing with the big dogs, the McCormick's and all them. We can't mess with them. But we were competing with people around our size, and there was one other savvy seasoning company. When I say savvy, they were savvy with marketing. And me and this cat were going at it head to head, and we were going at it on ads. And at best, I was breaking even. So I was paying a bunch of money to get a customer, and then when we got that customer, we would essentially break even once they bought, and ideally we would try to sell them more. And our competition was doing the same. Pay some money, get a customer, break even at best, and then try to sell them more stuff so you can get a profit. That's the game we were playing. And I got tired of that game. I got tired of breaking even and then having to upsell them. So I said, let me try a different strategy. So here's the hook, and here's the hook I never showed with anybody. I got a smaller version of the seasoning, 4 ounces, and I decided to give it away for free. Free in quotations. I did something called free plus shipping. So here's how it went down. This bottle cost me about $1.20. I would say then, hey, you can get it for free as a way to try the seasoning to see if you like it. Just pay shipping and handling. Well, the shipping and handling was $9.95. So I paid $1.20. Shipping handling is $9.95. Now here's the thing. By the time the seasoning got to my house, I paid for the shipping to my house and paid for somebody to pack it and send it out for me. I'm making $3 to $4 depending on where the seasoning was going. But here's why it works so well. When people see free, they just go nuts. So that's another little concept you can take and put it on the side if you have a low cost item. But if you can get, as long as it's not past $10, if you give it away for free and have people pay shipping and handling up to $9.95, they would do it because people like free. So that was the hook. Get this free bottle, just pay shipping and handling. Now I'm making $3 to $4 off it. Not big margins, but it changed the game. Because now think about what's happening. I am getting paid to build my list. It's only $3 or $4, but who cares? I was breaking even beforehand. Now I'm getting a bunch more people who are interested in the product because they think it's free. And I'm getting $3 to $4 off them. I'm getting paid to build a list of buyers while my competition is paying for customers and breaking even at best. I got to say it one more time because I got to drive this point home. I am getting paid to get leads while my competition is paying for them. And so now this is what went down. I had, at the time of this screenshot, I had over 36,000 people that I could sell more stuff to. So they paid me to get on my list so that I could then sell more stuff to them and make money that way. But that's not where the money was. The money is in the data. Think about the data that I'm getting. I'm getting really quality data. It's not just an email. If I'm sending you a product, think about all the information that you give away when you're getting a product shipped to your house. So I'm getting a name, I'm getting an email, I'm getting an address, I'm getting a phone number. I can text you, I can email you, I can send something physical to your house. I have multiple different ways to contact you in order to upsell you. The gold, and this is another big concept to I want you to grasp. The gold was not in upselling, where I did make money doing the upsells. That was great. The gold is in the data. I was able to, and we'll get into it in the next slide or so, but I was able to get first party quality data. This is hard to do. People will give you BS emails and BS phone numbers and BS addresses, but when you're getting a product that you want, that you paid for, sent to your house, you're going to give some of the best stuff. I had quality first party data, or I have quality first party data. So now, here is how I use that data. I discovered that there was a certain demographic buying this seasoning. And this demographic, they had it, if there was chances are, if you bought this seasoning, you had a high affinity or a high chance to own an RV, be a Republican, and B, into finance. So a list of people who bought seasoning from me, but I was able to discover that these people have a high affinity for RVs, they're into right-wing politics, and they are into finance. So what do? I sell the information. I sell the data. So depending on how I acquire you, if I acquire you from Amazon, I can't sell that data. Amazon keeps that data. But if I acquire you through my site or some other form or fashion that I went to get you to get the seasoning, in my terms of service, I'm telling you, I'm about to sell your data. It happens to us all the time. We'll get into that in the next video. But depending on how I acquire them, I tell them I'm selling their data, and I did that through terms of service. Those are very important when you're doing something like this. You got to have your TOS. We'll talk about that later as well. But now I have all this quality first-party data on people who probably have an RV, who are into right-wing politics, and are into finance. So what do? I then go find a buyer. I say, hey, buyer, you do RVs, you're looking for RV leads or whatever it is. I have this list. It has this high affinity. This is how I know it. Boom. I sell the information. Before I move on, I want you to grasp what's going on here, because this is like the whole ethos, the whole concept of this entire course. I get paid to build a list of buyers while my competition is paying to make a sell. Feel me on this. I am getting paid again to build a list of buyers who I then sold more seasoning to, made money that way, then took the data and sold that as well. If you are grasping what I'm saying, or if I'm doing a good job of getting this point home, when you do something like this, you change the game. It's not even fair, because you're playing chess, they're playing checkers. It is like cheating. It's a whole nother game, because while my competition is over there trying to break even with his seasoning, it's a he, I know for sure. He's trying to break even by selling it once and then build a list. I'm getting paid to build my list, and then I'm monetizing this list in other different ways. I'm using every part of the animal, every part of this chicken. So back to my original point, whoever gets customers at the lowest cost wins. So if you're getting paid to get customers while your competition is paying for them, who is going to win? If you don't get anything else out of this course, but you just at least get that concept and understand that, it'll put you several moves ahead of your competition. So anyways, in the next video, we are going to talk about how my information, how my information is being bought and sold. We're being pimped out. We're being hoed out. We are working that corner for companies. We don't even know it. It's happening to everybody around us. We'll talk about how in the next video. All right, so you are getting pimped out, hoed out. They got all of us on the corner working it for them, and let me show you how they do it. All right, so when you sign up for a platform, you typically agree to use their terms of services. Those are typically at the bottom of their website, and it discloses that website's intent. So here's an example of Meta's terms of services. We're not going to read it all, but it discloses everything they're going to do with your information. So we're going to talk about some of the most notorious pimps out there when it comes to our data and our information. So social media is by far one of the biggest, one of the worst. I'll tell you how. So you have this, look at, this is Facebook. Okay. And if you are advertising on Facebook, they don't sell your data particularly. They don't say, hey, this is, John Smith's data. Here's his age, here's his email, here's his phone number, here's his, they don't do all that. But what they do is they say, hey, John Smith is 56 years old and he's really into cats and he travels, right? So then they put John Smith in a bucket. John Smith can go in several different buckets because he's going to fit several different categories. He probably has more interest than cats and traveling. But for this example, we're going to say he has an interest in cats and traveling. They'll take a bunch of people who look like him and put him in a bucket. And then they'll say, hey, advertiser, or hey, big data company, we have a bunch of people who are over the age of 55 and they travel. Would you like to talk to them? Would you like to market to them? This is how social media makes a lot of their money. They figure out who you are, what you're about. You have several different interests. You go in several different buckets. Then they go sell the buckets via advertisements or big data buyers. Insurance. Insurance is one of the worst, one of the most notorious. And I will tell you why. Basically, they get you to fill out a form. You fill out the form to get a quote on the lowest insurance provider or whatever. Then they sell it to a bunch of people. But here's the thing. So you have whole businesses who are third-party businesses who just do that. They get your information and then they sell it to a bunch of car insurance buyers or insurance buyers. But here's a more specific example. Progressive here tells you that they'll give you a quote and also compare your quote or their quote to their competitors. So they're going to give you a quote and then also show you their competitor's quote. Why in the hell would they do that? Why would they help their competitors? You think they're here to help their competitors? No. What they do is you put your information in here. They take it. They give you a quote. They try to work you as a lead, right? They're going to try to sign you up. Then they take the information you gave them. They sell it to a third party who then sells it to their competitors. So they have your information. And let's say you sign up for Progressive. They're still going to give your information to the third party buyer who's then going to sell it to a bunch of their competition. So what they've done is they've hopefully signed you up, right? But if they didn't make money from signing you up, they're going to then sell you to their competition. They make their competition their customers. And again, they could sign you up and then still sell your lead. This is how insurance companies make money from the data. Google is massive. They do the bucket thing just like social media platforms. They don't sell your information directly. They don't go and say, hey, this is John Smith and John Smith's email, but they see your interest, they put you in a bucket and they sell the buckets. But here's the thing. Google has big buckets. Think about all the dirt they have on you. If you're using Chrome and you got a Gmail and you use YouTube and you get any apps from their store or you use an Android device, bro, they got all the dirt on you, all the information. Here's an example. Google knew a woman was pregnant before she knew she was pregnant based on all the stuff she was doing across all the devices. Google can predict the future on your ass, bro. And you don't think they're going to use that to their advantage and make money off of it? It's nuts. Home services. This is a brilliant and annoying model. So, they don't have, when I say home services, I'm talking about home services companies that sell leads, like Angie's. Angie's doesn't have a product. We are the product. So let's say that you lived in Paducah, Kentucky, and you needed plumbing. You go in here and you're putting in your information because you're just saying, hey, this Angie is going to help me find the best company at the affordable price. Well, here's the thing. Angie's don't give a shit about any of that. Angie's going to take your information and push it to as many certified plumbers as possible. As long as they have a real certification, a real business, they're going to try to take your one lead and sell it a bajillion times. And then what happens is you put this in here, you get some people come up, you may call one, but what's going to happen? You're going to get called by 5, 6, 7 different companies because your one lead was then, they took it and they sold it to as many qualified buyers as possible. So again, they don't have a product. We're the product. We're getting hoed out. Amazon. What game do you think Amazon is really in? Do you think they're here to sell products? No, that's part of the game, but that's not the game they are really in. Think about it. If you could see my purchase behavior, what would it then tell you about me? Especially if you could see it over months or years. You would know a lot about me based on the stuff that I'm buying. Amazon at first didn't sell their own stuff. They were like this online flea market. It was just a place where different vendors could come in and sell their stuff. So again, like an online flea market, these vendors come in, pay almost like the equivalent of a rent to go sell their stuff. But then what Amazon did was, check it out. They're like a digital online flea market or whatever. They can see everything that's being sold. They can see the stuff that's selling the best. What copy, when I say copy, I'm talking about the writing that's selling it the best, the price points. They can see all this stuff. So then what do? They then start selling their own stuff. Oh, these cups over here are selling really well. Let's get our version of that from China, Amazon Basics, whatever it is, and they sell that. That is not where the real money is. Like you already know, the real money is in the data they got, because now not only can they see what's being sold, they can see what you are buying. If they can see what you are buying, they have a good idea of who you are. Look at this little slide right here. This is like if you wanted to advertise in Amazon, this is Amazon putting your information in a bucket and saying, hey man, we got people over here who are between the ages of 45 and 54. They're in the market to get a vehicle that's a used vehicle that's over 6 years old. They make over $150,000. Their assets are less than 500. Like, look at all this information they have on somebody just from what that person has been buying. So again, they take that person, put them in a bucket, and sell those buckets. They're like Google. They got big buckets. They can sell it to advertisers, or they can sell it to data buyers. And there's tons more examples. Online colleges are notorious for this. Mortgage companies, loyalty programs. You're getting all these discounts from a loyalty program. How do you think they're covering those discounts? They're selling your data, either directly or putting it in a bucket. We are products, whether we like it or not, and we could fight against it, or we can go with it, and we go with it by doing it ourselves. And that's what we're going to get. That's what we're going to get into for the rest of these videos. But if you wanted to have an idea of who's pushing your information out there, who's selling your stuff, you can't fight it, but you can be aware. So I'm going to show you a quick trick. If you have a Gmail, you can, like when you sign up for a new program or you sign up for something, you could put a tracer on it. So for example, we have Joe Smith here. We've been talking about Joe Smith a lot. What up, Joe? Shout out to Joe. Anyways, with Joe here, if you were him, you could put a plus, like a tracker on your email. So it'd be Joe Smith plus Facebook, Joe Smith plus Angie's, Joe Smith plus whatever you sign up, put your email address plus the thing that you signed up for. So then what happens now is when you start to get a bunch of random emails from random companies, you have a tracker on it. So now you can see, oh, I got this newsletter thing from, where did I get it from? It would have your email address plus the tracker. So again, if Facebook, for example, sold Joe Smith's information, the email is coming back to Joe Smith would all have Facebook attached to it, so you would know who sold your information. I hope that is clear as mud. I look forward to jumping into this stuff. I appreciate you. Catch you in the next video. All right, so I'm gonna show you the hook that I think sucks the most. It's been the worst one that I've seen, but I'm also gonna show you the hooks that I've seen work the best. So let's get into it. The one thing that I've noticed about hooks that work the best are it's like giving somebody a single puzzle piece. So bear with me as I get into this terrible analogy. If you're doing a puzzle and you get to a section where it needs an odd shaped piece, and you're looking for it, and if I came up to you and said, hey, here's that odd shaped piece, you'd be like, dope, thanks. You take it, you put it in. But then your puzzle is still not complete. And matter of fact, that useful piece I gave you then leads to other problems, because now you got to find other puzzle pieces to fit that odd shaped puzzle piece. I told you this analogy was terrible. But back to my point, what I'm trying to say here is a great hook needs to be useful but incomplete, and also easy to consume. So again, I gave you that puzzle piece. It's useful, but the whole puzzle is incomplete. But it was easy to consume because I gave you that puzzle piece. So let me move on. Been doing this for a while. When it comes to hooks, there's several different categories of hooks. And I didn't want to make this whole course a big dissertation and super long. So for the purpose of this course, we're just going to focus on online hooks. If you guys like this, I'll do a part 2 and go into the other types of categories. But just to keep it concise, we'll go with the online thing. Matter of fact, guys, I need feedback. I don't know if you like this shit or not. And so if you want more of it, I won't do it until you tell me. That was a segue. Back to the lecture at hand. All right, so under online hooks, there's 3 different versions of them. There's visuals, there's interactives, and digital. So visual, interactive, or digital. We're going to talk about visuals today. A visual, simply said, is typically a downloadable resource that gives value. So here's one of the worst hooks that I've seen, period. I just don't like ebooks. They can work. Ebooks can work if you are in I see him work if you're in a political or religious niche. And I think that's because people in those mindsets are used to reading. People will read political stuff. They will read religious stuff. But outside of that, the reason why I feel ebooks suck, or the reason why I think they fail a lot, is because you're saying, hey, give me your information and I will give you work. So again, give me your information, I'm going to give you work to do. That is not a good trade-off. If you take anything away from this section at all, you got to remember, please remember, your hook needs to be useful but incomplete and easy to consume. Another reason why I think ebooks have a perceived low value is because people who like to read, in my experience, this is purely anecdotal, but people who like to read are largely kinesthetic, meaning they want to hold a book. And sometimes there's a ritual attached to it. Hey, I go to this coffee shop, or hey, I go to this spot of my couch at this time of day and I read. They're typically kinesthetic, and sometimes it's a ritual. You really can't. The ebook, when you're reading on your phone or your tablet, it kind of takes away from that. There is a percentage of people who do that, but what I'm saying is I see ebooks fail, and I'm giving you the reasons why I think they fail. You can still do ebooks. They still are done, but you got to change the way you present it. Change the title. For example, you could call an ebook a blueprint. This is a damn ebook when you look at it, but when you call it a blueprint, you change the name. That means you change the game. Meaning, an ebook, like, hey, get my free ebook, that sounds like work. Hey, get my free blueprint, that sounds like you're giving them a plan. Same thing, all you did was change the name of it, and it changes the expectation of that. Also changes the value. Ideas are great. Ideas are like, because what's an ebook? Basically a bunch of ideas. But what you do is you take that and you make it easier to consume. So you can say, hey, here's a list of ideas for kindergarten homeschoolers. This is valuable because you're giving them ideas so they don't have to do work. And it's in an easy format because it's just a list. Easy. And it's an ebook. All you did was just change the format and make it easier to consume. By the way, before I get to the next font, let me go on a quick tangent. Don't get cute with your copy. Your copy is what you're writing in headlines or whatever, or in your emails, whatever it is. Here, kindergarten ideas list is the copy. This is the headline. It's not bad. It's bad because of the font. Don't get cute with the font. So for example, right now, what jumps out to you? To me, I just see ideas list. She wants to target, she doesn't want to give people an idea list. That doesn't help anybody. She wants to give kindergarten idea list, right? If you want to do that, she should have made kindergarten, or she or he, sorry for being sexist there, whatever it is. She or he should make that, make kindergarten, that font the same as idea list. Like, make it all the same font, really simple, really big, really easy to read. That way somebody who's a kindergarten homeschooler or a kindergarten teacher can just say, hey, this is for me. That's my rant. Let me move on. Cheat sheets. Cheat sheets are great. It's a great name because it's an ebook, but it's in a different format. But what does a cheat sheet imply? Quick, fast, easy, shortcut, work done for you. Again, you're changing the expectation of this, and it comes off as easy to consume. And then we hopefully your cheat sheet is useful if you're giving good information. By the way, I'm gonna talk about how to do these. Like, you don't really have to think of these yourself. There's different ways you can get these resources, these hooks, and it's super easy. But we'll talk about it in that section. Let me move on. I know a cat who built an entire business first giving away cheat sheets. They work. Swipe files. Love me some swipe files. They're similar to cheat sheets. Swipe files are like saying, hey, here's a list of things that worked in the past. Go ahead and use them for your business. So you could say like, hey, here's a list of emails that really work for people who had an e-com product. Take this email and then use that and insert your product. Hey, here's some ads that really worked for some dog food or whatever. Take that ad, make it yours, sell it. And so what you're saying, this is great too for specifically for marketing and sales. What is marketing and sales at the end of the day? At the end of the day, that's money. So you're saying, hey, do this and get money. That's what you're saying at the end of the day with a great swipe file. Again, I'm going to show you later on where to get these, but I love swipe files personally. Like I like reviewing what's worked historically to make it mine. Then I also like compiling it and giving it away. And you could do that a swipe file. You could have a swipe file freebie list. I love freebie lists because, again, think of the name. It's a freebie list. There's a lot of stuff that it implies there. But what a freebie list is at the end of the day is you've condensed information for people. So like a swipe, we were talking about swipe files. You could have a swipe file that you took and you say, hey, here's this swipe file freebie list. Combine them bad boys. Powerful stuff. Here's an example of a freebie list. Do you know what Figma design resources are? I sure the hell don't, but I bet you some graphic designers do, which brings me to the next point. This is a point for all this stuff. Any of your hooks, be sure your hook is niche specific. So going back to the kindergarten, what was that kindergarten cheat or kindergarten ideas list? If it just says idea list, that doesn't help anybody. If it says kindergarten idea list or German Shepherd, dog training idea list or whatever, make sure it's niche specific so that your target demographic reads it and knows, hey, that's for me. And also these freebie lists, I've seen whole business models on that. Matter of fact, there's a couple of websites that I go to that they have no product. That website is just it condenses resources for me so I can go and save time and get stuff done. But what do? They have my information. They're showing me ads. They're making money. There's this right here, freebie list. It's a hook, but it's also a business model. Matter of fact, a lot of these hooks I'm showing you, they're hooks, but they're also business models. Slides are great for stage. Matter of fact, it's great for presenting, period. There might be some of you who want these slides. If you want them, let me know. Holla at me. But they are a fantastic way to get leads. I know a dude who kills it with this, right? So he does a lot of speaking. So what does he do when he gets on stage? He says, hey, he'll give out some information in the middle of his presentation or towards the end. He goes, hey, or even sometimes at the beginning, depending on what he's doing, he will say, hey, do you want these slides? And people are like, hell yeah, they do. So he puts up a QR code. Everybody scans that QR code. But guess what you have to get before you get, guess what you have to do before you get the slides? You have to enter your name, you have to enter your email, and whatever else he's looking to collect. So now he gets on a stage of 300 people, 1,000 people, 5,000 people. A lot of them scan that QR code. Boom. He gets all these leads, one shot. I love this method. So that's the first part of getting these online hooks. We will go to part 2 next. All right, so once again, I'm going to show you something that I have never shown anybody. I think it's pretty dope. And this thing I'm going to show you has generated hundreds of thousands of dollars. Before I get into it, I want to talk about what interactive hooks are. Pretty simple. Interactive hooks are hooks that get people to interact. Let me adjust this mic. All right, check 1, check 2. Let's get into it. All right, so one of the ways to use interactive hooks are viral contests. Viral contests are pretty dope, and they typically work one of two ways. Either you get somebody to enter a contest like daily, so they can come back and enter once a day, or they can get entries through referrals. So if they referred 5 people, they would get 5 entries. The dope thing about viral contests is the viral aspect of them, which we'll talk about here in a second. But the key to making these things work, there's three. One is you want to make sure they feel like they have plenty of chances to win. So one of those ways you do that, one of the 3 ways, is to give them multiple entries. So if they feel like they can enter every day, they feel like they have a chance to win. If they feel like they can refer to their friends and get entries that way, that gives them more of the feeling of the chance to win. And then the second way is you want to make sure the things you're giving away are high value. So I don't know about these janky ass headphones. This is the best image I could find. But you want to make sure that the things that you're giving away are high value. One of the ways you can figure out if they're high value or not is going to Amazon. So you go to Amazon's most wished for items. They have that. They'll give you the categories. Find the thing that makes the best sense for your niche. Find what's selling, and then go see if you can get a Temu version of that, or Temu, or whatever it's called. Now, be careful with Temu or Temu or whatever the hell the name is, because they will send you that bullshit. But every now and then, they have something that's the exact same thing on Amazon. And if you can't find it there, you can go to AliExpress. AliExpress is a less user-friendly version of Temu, but you can find a lot of the same items that you would find on Amazon, on AliExpress. And if you're doing this at scale, use Alibaba. You go there and you can get things for cheap, but there's a minimum order quantity, right? Typically in the hundreds or thousands or whatever it is. But if you're doing this thing at scale, you can go there to get your items cheap. And then the third way, so one of the 3 ways, make sure they have multiple entries, make sure it's a high value item. And then if you can, back to the whole concept of making them feel like they have more chances to win, list 2 or 3 items that you are giving away. So they feel like they can enter a lot of times. It's a high valued item or items. And then they can enter a bunch of times. It's a high value item that they want or items that they want, and you have multiples, so they have more of a chance to win. The very last thing that makes these things great, when I say things, I'm talking about viral contests, is that you could run a contest, and let's say you had 100 people sign up just to the contest, just to the campaign that you ran. So say you ran it in Facebook, and Facebook says, hey, you had 100 conversions, which is 100 signups, but you go on the back end and you see that you had 500 signups. It's because of the viral aspect. Your 100 that you put in went and did work for you. That's powerful. I like that a lot. Another great thing is 1-question polls. These are specifically great for the political space, but they can be used in a variety of different ways. We have an email business that is made hundreds of thousands and also lost hundreds of thousands because that email business is kicking us in the balls. We're about even there. This isn't the thing that I was going to talk about. I'll get to that later on. But the beautiful thing about this is using the 1-question poll, we were able to build a list of over 1 million people that were looking to monetize in other different ways outside of this email ecosystem thing we're doing. Once I crack that nut, I will make a course on that. But in the meantime, let's get back to the lecture at hand. There is something psychological about 1-question polls. We like to sort. So if I said, hey, I just had a baby, and I paused there, your next question will likely be, is it a boy or a girl? Why do we ask that? Does it even matter? We just like to sort. Black, white, Democrat, Republican, Biggie, or Tupac. I won't go. Anyways, the thing, back to the political thing, we were able to build that list just by, as it said, Trump or Kamala. These people picked Trump, took him down to a form, and then boom, we were able to build this massive list. Another thing too is if you own a restaurant or a bar, something that generates tips for the staff, one of the ways to generate more tips is you could have a tip jar out there and it says tips, okay, whatever. Or it has a scan thing they can scan, they can tip, whatever. But if you put something out there that says, let's imagine that Biggie and Tupac were relevant, and you had a tip jar that had Biggie's face or Tupac's face on it, your tips would increase significantly. Again, because people want to sort. The key to making this thing work is to have relevant topics and relevant items. If I put something out with Biggie or Tupac right now and I put that in a country bar, it's not relevant, plus the niche wouldn't care, that would not generate any money at all. You want to pick something that is relevant to your niche, something they care about, something that they care to raise their hand for. YouTube videos. These are dope because you don't have to create them. You could just swipe them. So for example, if you had a stomach problem, and let's say that, if you had a stomach problem and I sent you a video and it was like, and the video said, hey, the top 5 foods white people should avoid for stomach issues, or the top 5 foods black people should avoid who have stomach issues, or the top 5 foods women should avoid, whatever it is, a video that's specific to your niche that helps with a situation. If I send that video to you and it solves your stomach problem, are you grateful to YouTube, the business? No. Are you grateful to the person who actually recorded the video? Maybe a little. Who are you really grateful to? Me, the person who gave you the video. I didn't create it. I'm not YouTube. I'm not even the person who created the video on YouTube. I just found it, pass it along to you. You used it. It's helpful. You don't have to create. You just got to pass it along and make sure whatever you pass along is useful but incomplete. Here's one of the ways we do it. We have a landing page. This is not us, but it's an example of how we do it. We'll have a headline. We'll have a screenshot of the video, and then we'll put in a little YouTube like play button. Right? They click that YouTube play button. It takes them to our website, and there it will play the video that's embedded in our website. It's a helpful video. Then at some point, a form pops up at the bottom for them to fill out their information. We get them to fill out that information because typically the video that we send is going to introduce another problem. So if I sent you, let's stick with the stomach issue example. If I sent you this video that helps solve your stomach issue and it said, hey, you can't eat this, that, and the other, you're like, damn, I've been eating this, that, and the other the entire time. What can I eat now? And then my little form at the bottom pops up and says, hey, to find out the top 5 foods that are best for white people or black people or women or whatever, give us your information and we'll get you that. So what happened was we sent you a video that helps you with one problem, but now you have another problem and the form pops up to solve that other problem. So now we've helped you, which you feel good about. You need help. You need more help. We've already helped you. You need more help. Why would you not give us your information? I hope that makes sense. Quizzes. Now these bad boys, these are powerful. And here's where I'll show you the thing that I've never shown anybody. And there's 2 things I'm gonna introduce in this quiz. This first part, this is not me. It's not the thing that I haven't shared with anybody. That's gonna be the second thing here. But this first thing, I'm in a mastermind with a cat. I mean, the mastermind are these groups that you pay a bunch of money to be a part of, to be around people who are doing big things so you can learn from them. One of the cats in this mastermind I'm in is doing some big things. And what he's doing is he has a travel company. He helps people book their dream vacations. But check out what this cat is doing. So you go to his website and you pay money to get your dream vacation thing set up. In order for him to help you with your dream vacation, he needs to know a lot about you. So what does he do? It's a very long quiz. And you're answering a lot of questions. Do you want an RV type vacation? Do you want to go to a beach? Do you own a beach home? Are you trying to go to? Do you want to bring your dog? Do you want to bring your cat? What kind of car are you wanting to rent? What cars are you into? Where do you work? Where do you live? All this stuff. So now, what went down? You went there. You pay money. He delivers on helping you with your dream vacation. He makes money that way. But I could guess that you can guess what happens next. He has all this information on you. He knows that you're a dog owner who has an RV and you're interested in this or whatever. So now what he can do is sell your information 3 different ways, or actually make money from you 3 different ways. 1, you paid to get his product. 2, he can sell your individual information, RV owner or dog owner, or he can sell the buckets of people that, like the people that are like you're in that bucket. He can sell the buckets. So he's selling the product, individual information, and the buckets, and he's making buckets of money doing this. Now, here's the thing that I have never shared with anybody. Quizzes, man. I use my quiz as copy. If you're not familiar with what copy is when you write in a manner to influence. It's called copywriting, or it could be copy or whatever. It's a marketing term. And so a lot of quizzes will say, hey, are you this age? Are you that age? Very, very basic questions. I like to use my quiz as copy. So let's say that you are in the finance space, the beauty space, the weight loss space. These are very sensitive categories, very sensitive niches. If you say the wrong thing or make big promises, you can go to jail. You can get in big trouble. So you can't state certain things. You can't state them, but you can ask them. So I can't say, hey, if you take this weight loss product, you're going to be more attractive. I can't say, hey, if you take this weight loss product, you're going to lose more weight and therefore make more money, because studies show people who are in shape make more money. I can't say it's going to give you more energy for your kids, this, that, and the other. I can, but it's a gray line, right? Can't say you're going to lose 60 pounds. Can't say that. I can ask you. I can say, hey, do you want to feel more attractive? Do you want to make more money? Do you want to have more energy? How much weight do you want to lose? I can ask you all these questions. I'm not stating it. I can ask you these things. And the beautiful thing about this, the psychological aspect, is that when people have a problem, they come to you with the surface level problem, but they won't give you the core. So when somebody wants to lose weight, they'll say, hey, I just want to lose weight. But there's a lot behind that. It could be because their spouse will no longer have sex with them. It could be because their kids are embarrassed to them when they go to school. There's all this stuff that they're not going to disclose to you. Either they're not aware of it, or they're just too embarrassed to say. So now what do you do with this quiz? This quiz starts hitting on the things that they might be too embarrassed to say, or it introduces problems that they haven't even thought of. They may not be aware that, hey, they may not be aware that, hey, people don't find me as attractive because I'm whatever. They might not be aware that people who are more in shape make more money. They might not even be aware of this. So the quiz both can hit on something that they're hiding inside that they don't want to tell anybody, or introduce them to things they didn't think of. If you pick up what I am putting down and you use this well, it can be very helpful. Anyways, on to the next one. Audiobooks. Audiobooks are increasingly popular. And what I'm finding with audiobooks is there's a certain niche that likes to listen to books. Like, for example, it says there's a niche that says, or there's something that says people with Apple products have a higher net worth or whatever it is. I don't know about that. It's something I read. Does that mean that people who have Androids don't have money? No, I'm not saying that. But according to this study, people who have a higher net worth have Apple products. Another study I saw people with a higher net worth consume audiobooks. These masterminds, these groups I'm in with all these people, they all consume audiobooks. So if you are looking for a certain niche that has the money to spend, an audiobook, a free audiobook is great. And it's the preferred way that I consume information. This is the way to do it. I'm going to talk later on in a video later down the road about how to make these hooks, how to easily make them. But here's the easy way. If you have a ChatGPT that's been primed right, that can write a book for you and write it decently, you can have ChatGPT write a book. There's a software called 11 Labs. It's pretty good. It could read the book for you. So you had ChatGPT write the book. You had 11 Labs read it. Now you have an audiobook. And if ChatGPT wrote the book, you have an ebook as well, which you can accompany with the audiobook, make them feel like they're getting a 2-for-1 for free. Super dope and super easy to do. And the thing I like about audiobooks is, again, the perceived value, right? So if I said, hey, you want an ebook, or hey, do you want an audiobook? I know audiobooks cost me money on Audible. I can't tell you the last time I read an ebook or downloaded one. The perceived value on an audiobook is higher. Anyways, that is everything. The next thing we're going to do is go to a video where we talk about digital hooks. Every time I think of the word digital, I think of Digital Planets, The Return to Slick. Great song, great hook, great group. If you don't know about it, check it out. All right, so I am going to show you 2 of the slickest ways I've seen people use digital hooks. A digital hook uses software to capture leads. So for the definition of this, again, a digital hook uses software to capture the leads. My neighbor just walked by. And one of the ways I could tell if somebody's been around black people or have any kind of black influence or whatever you want to call it is the way they say peace, or the way they throw up the peace sign. So my neighbor walks by and I'm like this, what up, peace, whatever. And he looks at me and he's like an Asian woman or something. That boy got 0 black friends. Anyways, let me get into it. One of the ways to capture digital leads or custom GPTs. And so at this point, I'm using GPT. There's other ways, there's other AI to use, but I'm using GPT because they're a little more popular right now. Chat GPT has a more popular name than other AI platforms at the time of me recording this. But a custom GPT, for those who don't know it, is a GPT that's been trained. It's a chatbot that's been trained for a specific task. So if you went to GPT right now and said, hey, write me a book like Ernest Hemingway, it's going to be pretty crappy. But if you went there and you fed the chatbot all these books that Ernest Hemingway did, and you fed it all that information, it's going to write something much better. It's crap in, crap out, right? So if you just went there and said, write like Ernest Hemingway, it's going to be crap. If you fed this custom GPT all of Ernest Hemingway's books and asked it to write like that, then it would. I don't know why I chose Ernest Hemingway. I've never read one of his books in my entire life, I don't think. But here's the thing. You can create one yourself. Go to somewhere like Scribd, right? Scribd has a bunch of digital books. You can go there, get Scribd digital books, upload them into your GPT, train that, and then give it away. Or like YouTube, just go find a useful one and find a bunch of them and give them to your niche. Very useful GPTs. That's the keys. They got to be useful. And then you share them. The thing that I like at the time of recording this, if you don't know about it, Notebook LM is beautiful for like custom chatbot type things. In my opinion, it does a better job of mimicking the information that you put in. But I would use GPTs if you're trying to advertise to the public because of the name. It's well known at this point. Slack channels. Oh boy, here's one of the 2 slickest way I've seen this done. So my homeboy, he does content, and his content typically discusses a pain and gives a solution. So he'll say, hey, blah, 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 here's the pain, blah, 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 here's the solution. And then what he says is, for more information like this, come join my Slack group. Click on the link. So people go and join his Slack group. Now, what happens when somebody joins his Slack group? In his email, it'll say, hey, Andre3K at Gmail just joined your channel. So what he's doing is he's giving out content, giving out information, not telling them to do anything besides, hey, if you want more stuff like this, go ahead and join my Slack channel. There goes my neighbor again. Anyways, if more information like this, join my Slack channel. And then when you go to his Slack channel, in the terms of service in the Slack channel, it says he's going to be selling your information. So now what does he have in the channel? He can sell his products, which he does, and he can sell the individual information. He doesn't have buckets yet because it's not that massive, but he can sell the individual data information. And also, one of the brilliant things about the channel is he structures it so that they help each other. That's a whole other video that I don't have time to do right now, but that's masterful, where he gives this information, brings people in this community, gets their information that he could sell these emails because they're interested in this one specific thing. And he doesn't do much like talking in the community. He just facilitates it. He quarterbacks so that everybody's in there helping each other and interacting. Brilliant, slick, and it is generating when I last talked to him, he's over 3 million top line in that business, and it's only been about 1.5 years. Brilliant stuff. Software demos. This is great if you have software, but more than likely, you probably don't have your own software. So if you want to do a software demo, pick a software that your niche uses and give them a demo on it, and give them a demo on one core function. You don't want to show them all the nuts and bolts and show them how the sausage is made. That doesn't help them. Otherwise, they would have done it themselves. They wouldn't need your video. Your video should focus on a specific aspect of the software that's simple, quick, and can help them whether they use it or not. Just by them seeing it and knowing that that was an option, and they get that aha moment, they tilt their head a little bit, you've won. But the key to that is pick one of the most helpful core function, give them a simple, quick little tutorial, get that, aha. And if they use it, whatever, who cares? You want them just to be impressed by what you show them. I know cats, several of them. There's a software out there called Go High Level. I know several people who have an entire business based on this software. And some of them, all they do is just show people how to use it or set it up for them. That's their entire business. And where do the leads start? They start with demos on this software, demoing things that are specific to the niche. Spreadsheets. Most people need help with this. I'm one of these people. I don't like to do spreadsheets. I like the idea of them, but I don't like to do them, and I don't like to use it, but I like the idea of it, right? So you can get spreadsheets and show them how to use it and give them out. Now, here's the thing with the spreadsheet. Most people, I can't say that. In my experience, there's a lot of people out there who are like me, where they like the idea of the spreadsheet. And if you show them something that's great, it has it's really useful, they'll be like, oh man, bro, I'll take it. And they don't ever use it, right? And there's some people out there, the data type minded people, who will just go in the weeds with this. But there's a lot of people out there like me who like the idea of it, or are grateful to have it, but won't use it. But what you're doing is you're showing somebody, here's a great spreadsheet, something that would be helpful to you. Here's a very easy way to use it. And they're like, oh, dope. And they take it, they don't use it. But you do that again, and you do that again, and you do that again. Whether they use it or not is not your business. What you are doing is you're positioning yourself as the guide, as their mentor. Like, they'll know you as this person over here who has this dope stuff that gives them, that can help their business or help their whatever. That's what spreadsheets are for. And we'll get more into this in the how to create the hook section, but you don't have to do these spreadsheets yourself. You can buy them from different, you can get them created or buy them and resell them. That is the best way, in my opinion, to use it. Free software. Now, here is the second slickest way I've seen digital hooks be used. The key with software is the game has changed, right? If you're in the software business, the game has changed. It's hard because there's so much out there. There's two ways you do your software. One, you have people join a community, right? So you could say, hey, join this community, pay X dollars a month, you get access to all this software. That's one way. Second way is saying, hey, it's free to the public, just sign up. Now, this motherfucking Neil Patel right here, this old slick as hell Neil Patel. Boy, he did. All right, so this is what, I don't know him. I know somebody who knows him, and this is what he's done. He has a software called Uber Suggested. For a while, it was free. He also has one that was called, I think, Answer the Public or something. He has two very helpful pieces of software for the people that are in his niche, right? He says, hey, for a while there, it was free to use. I think now he just does it at cost so he can break even there. But for a very long time, it was free to use. So people would consume his information. He would push these free tools that he owns, and people would go there and sign up. It was much like the Slack channel. When you sign up, You had to answer some questions. And this tool is very useful. So there's a good, by the time you got to this tool, you've consumed a fair amount of Neil's content. You bought into him. So now you're buying into the tool. So he's getting quality first party data. Is it all quality? I can't say that, but I know a high percentage of it is quality. And boy, a lot of these leads were business leads. So he's getting business to business leads. So I think you could tell or know where I'm going with this. This cat was getting so many leads. He could just sell a lot of them and then take the cream of the crop. And these cream of the crop are like big companies. I'm not going to disclose them here because I don't want Neil coming at me because that's big bank crush little bank. But he landed some big companies from a simple free to use software and then took the rest of the leads and pushed them out to whoever or whomever. Big money, super slick, super successful. But anyways, that is digital leads, a synopsis of them. Like I said, if you guys like this, I'll go into a part 2 because I can dive deeper, especially physical. Physical hooks are, I said digital leads, digital hooks, but physical hooks are my favorite. But again, I don't want to like do a whole course on this and you guys don't even like this one. Let your boy know. But in the next video, we'll talk about how to easily and effortlessly make these hooks. All right, so I'm going to show you how you can create your hook in less than 10 minutes. Yo, I don't know if some of you are old enough to remember back in the day when you had to work on a Word document. This is prior to autosave. You ever had a time where you were working on something and you're 3 or 4 hours into it, something goes wrong with the laptop, it shuts off something, and then you lost all that work that you did for the last 3 or 4 hours, right? Remember that gut-wrenching feeling you would get if you're old enough to remember? I have had something like this happen twice with this section of the video. I've recorded, this is my 3rd time recording it, and then something goes wrong. It makes me want to kick the software in the nuts. Let me get to going here. Thank you for listening to me. Here's the thing with these hooks. You don't have to create them. You just have to be able to deliver them. So here's some ways to do it. Etsy. Etsy is a site where people buy and sell homemade items. Now here's something that most people don't know about Etsy. Etsy doesn't just sell homemade items, they sell digital tools. So all you have to do is enter your niche, your interest, and then put the word resell. So you could say, hey, finance spreadsheets for resell, or a P&L calculator for resell. All these tools will pop up. You can buy the tool, resell it, give it away, edit it, all that stuff. It's a thing that I don't think a lot of people take leverage. Code Canyon. Code Canyon is a site where you buy done for you software. So you can buy apps, you can buy plugins, you can buy scripts, all this type of stuff. Now the thing with Code Canyon is they have resell stuff, but they're not great. So here's the thing, and this applies to Etsy too. This course isn't about reselling stuff. It's about giving things away so they can be hooks. So if you're not reselling something, you don't need a resell license. You just are giving it away. They can't stop you from doing that. So you don't need to have a resell license to give away something. You're just giving it away. So again, same thing for Etsy, same thing for Code Canyon or anything else that's giving away or that sells white label stuff. If you're giving it away, you don't need a resale license. And so here's a top seller that was on Code Canyon. I bet they're giving this away or using this for Montessori schools, home schools, private schools, all types of stuff on there. Check it out. Creative Market. I think it's creativemarket.com. But Creative Market is a place where people sell templates like PowerPoint, design tools, things of that nature. So here's an example. Let's say that you were in the nutrition business and you wanted to come up with a meal planner, but you didn't want to do all the stuff to create the meal planner. You'd go here, you would buy one, modify it so that it fits your brand, and then give it away. It is pretty straightforward. And Creative Market is I think they are an extension of Etsy, but they specifically are geared towards reselling stuff. So between Etsy and Creative Market, you can find something and give it away and just make it yours. Anyways, AI. I love AI, and I could really go down the rabbit hole with this. This really could be its own course. I use AI every day, and I used AI to help me make parts of this course. But anyways, I digress. To prevent me from going down the rabbit hole, I'm going to give you 2 ways that you could use AI. One of the ways is you can create your own GPT. So you go to ChatGPT, go to a section where it says explore GPTs, and you would go here. These GPTs are things that have been created to do, are the GPTs that have been created to do a very specific task. So you can think of your niche and what would be helpful for them. Go here and search GPTs, find the top 3 that would be most helpful to your niche, and then say, hey, here are the top 3 GPTs to help you solve X, Y, and Z so that you can get A, B, and C. Those should have been flipped, but you get what I am saying. You don't have to create it. You just got to go find it and deliver it. And there's probably already a GPT that could help you or your niche or whatever. Also, you could go here to future tools. So here's a second way you can use AI. By the way, the cool thing about this site is they're doing what I'm teaching you to do. This website has just aggregated a bunch of AI information. It gives you the most cutting edge AI tools so that you don't have to go do the research yourself. So people go here, they sign up to the newsletter, they use this. This site monetizes people through ads and through its newsletter and also sponsored placements on here. Beautiful. It's funny. I'm showing you a tool that's doing what I'm trying to teach you to do here. Anyways, you can go to future tools, find the upcoming AI things that work best for your niche, and then do a software demo on that. And if you do this over and over again, now you become the expert in AI. Are you an expert? No, you just went to a website that's aggregating information and then you're delivering it to people. A principle I seem to find with us is that we just like things brought to us. All the information is out there, right? You don't really, if you were really motivated, you don't need a personal trainer. You don't need this, that, and the other. We just like things brought to us, just like Uber. So you're going to kind of Uber this thing here where here's the cutting edge items. Here you go. Hope that made sense. Let me move on before I go down the rabbit hole of AI. Upwork. Upwork connects freelancers with clients for online jobs. I love Upwork. There is gold in Upwork if you know how to hire. I'm going to use an example and give you 3 ways that you could use Upwork to then get a hook. So let's say you want a new app. You can go to Upwork and hire somebody to create your app, and it would be at an affordable price. You could do that. It's going to cost you money, but you can do that. You could then, or number 2, you could go to Code Canyon and say, hey, this is an app that I want to use. I don't feel like dealing with any of the digital aspect of it, so that I want to get the app and be able to deliver it easily. You could hire somebody from Upwork to pull the app from Code Canyon and make it so that all you have to do is just email out and deliver it out. You could do that. A third way is, if you're super busy, you could go to Upwork, hire an assistant and say, hey, I need you to go to Code Canyon and find me the top 3 apps that do this. So you go have that assistant do the work for you, come back with the top 3 apps. You pick one of the 3 that you like, hire somebody for Code Canyon to then pull that app off of Code Canyon for you and make it easy for you to deliver. I'm stumbling over my words, but I hope that you get my point. There's a lot you can do to leverage Upwork to help you get your hook. You don't have to create it. You just have to deliver. YouTube. We are all familiar with what YouTube is. I love YouTube because it's free. And like we talked about earlier, all you have to do is just find a relevant video, put it in front of somebody. And ideally that video is going to then lead to another. It's going to solve a problem that leads to another problem. You have a form that pops up at the bottom that's going to solve that secondary problem that popped up. Now you're able to collect their information. If you don't have time to do all the research necessary to find a great YouTube video, then what do? Just hire somebody from Upwork, give them the parameters you're looking for, and have them find that video for you. IPLR.com, PLR.me. These are massive libraries of videos, ebooks, software, you name it. PLR means private label rights. So you go here knowing that you could buy something, white label it, and resell it. But in our case, we're not going to resell it. We're going to give it away. This is idplr.com. So much stuff here. So much. Find what you want. Find a couple of things you want, whatever it is. Rebrand it, and then give it away. If for some reason these sites don't contain what you are looking for, they don't have anything that's in your niche, like say you were in the fishing niche or something, and they don't have it, then just go Google fishing, then PLR. So Google your niche or whatever you're looking for in PLR, and chances are there's a website out there that has some stuff that you could just take and make yours. Speaking of taking and making yours, Content Sparks. Content Sparks sells done for you courses. And so if you've never created a course and you're kind of you don't know anything about creating a course, doing a course or whatever, you can go here and buy a done for you one. They have courses, they have workshops, they have guides. You could take it, take something that's niche specific and give that away. You could take something, put your brand on it, edit it a little bit, give it away. You could take one of these courses, use it as a template and make your own. But if you're looking to give away courses as your hook, this is a great place to start if you don't know much about creating courses. Swipe files. I love me a swipe file. A swipe file, something I got out of a swipe file is what helped me initially get out of corporate America. I learned something huge. I was able to quit my job and make the side hustle the main hustle. But anyway, swipe files are a collection of marketing and sales content that's worked. And it's huge because you're giving somebody something that has worked. That means they don't have to come up with the idea themselves. They have a head start by taking something that's worked, modifying it, and making it theirs. Again, I love these. You could go to a website like this. So this is reallygoodemails.com. If your niche was struggling with emails, you can come here and find 10 emails that are specific to the niche that already worked, and you can give it to them. And now it's almost like you're giving them money. Like, here are 10 things that made money. Take it and make it yours so that you can make money. That's kind of what you're saying in the underlying fashion. But anyways, yeah, you could take these swipe files and do that. Now, with swipe files, a good keyword to use when you're searching for them is you can use the phrase swipe files, or you can use a phrase like spy tools. There's tons out there, but this is like YouTube. Just go in there, do a little bit of work, find the things that work best for your niche, and then give it to them. If you don't give it to them, if you don't know what works best for your niche, I would think that you would know about your niche. And if you know about your niche, you put yourself in that person's shoes and you can say, what would work best for me? Like, what do I find valuable? And if you find it valuable, chances are if your niche mimics you, or if you truly understand them, they're going to find it valuable. But I love using swipe files personally and using them as hooks. But my favorite way of all these, I have a few for the online one, but my favorite way overall is physical items. We didn't really talk about it. There's other, you have online ways of getting hooks and those work. Then you have physical and you have printable. I didn't talk about physical and I didn't talk about printable because this would have been the longest course ever. And I don't even know if it's good. I don't even know if you like this. And so I'm not going to double down on something that you don't like. If you guys like it, I will do a course on physical items. I'll do one on printables. But physical items, I love it because you can leverage the word free. You can do that with your online hook as well. But I leverage the word free. And I built lists online, no problem. Those are good. Made money with those. But I get more quality data with a physical item because this is something that people pay for in some form or fashion, typically shipping and handling. And they're going to want what they put money towards. So they're going to give you their best email. They're going to give you their phone number. They're going to give you their address. They're going to give you their real name. They're going to give you all that. So the data seems to be a bit more quality with physical items. So anyways, if you want a course on that, you got to let your boy know. Anyways, in the next video, I'm going to show you how to sell these leads so that you can make that money. All right, so I'm going to show you 2 of my favorite ways to make money from my list. Yo, before I jump into it, bear with me. I have been sick the last couple days. I don't know if it was COVID or flu or whatever it is. I have like this, I think it's COVID. It's got to be. I have that post brain fog. If any of you have ever dealt with it, man, it sucks. I feel like my brain needs to stretch or something, get warmed up. Let's hope I do decent here. Let's get into it. All right, so there's 2 different ways to go through it. The first way we're going to talk about is collabs. Think of collabs as a category, and then we're going to have subcategories that we're going to get into. The next video will have its category, and then it will have subcategories. But I like collabs because it's the easiest and most immediate way to make money from your leads, or your list. Now, think of it as the big way to make money, or not the big way, the way to make money from collabs is just working with other businesses that are somewhat similar, or they are in related fields. So what I mean by that is, imagine that you're selling peanut butter. Not really, right? Because if you're really just selling peanut butter, it'd be kind of hard to make a lot of money. But for the purpose of me explaining this point, you are selling peanut butter. You're looking for people who have the jelly and who have the bread. And you're making deals with people who have jelly and bread. Ideally, this works best if you know people. So you sell peanut butter, you happen to know Bob over here who sells jelly and Jim over here who sells bread. You guys make deals together to then make more money together. You don't have to know people to make this happen though. You can go out there and easily find them. You go to forums, you go to groups, you go to conferences, you go to local B&I events. There's people out there to find, network with, and then make deals with. That's how collabs work best. Before you do this, make sure you have a terms of service on your website. Make sure you have this terms of service on your website at the point of you collecting these leads. You need to let people know exactly what you are doing with their information, or they'll come back and sue your pants off. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm gonna show you how I do it. I train GPTs to make my terms of service. I tell that GPT exactly what I plan to do with the leads or may potentially do with the lead. And then I put that in, I have GPT put that in the terms of service. I write it up. I put that on my website, and then I put the terms of service at the bottom of my website. So somebody would click on it. They would read exactly what's happening. It takes less than 10 minutes. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just showing you how I do it. But let's get into how to make this money. The first category is going to be affiliates. If you don't know what affiliate is, it's pretty simple. Affiliate marketing is when you make money from when somebody clicks on a link or a product that you recommend. So let's say you have your list, you're emailing them, you put a link in there and you're like, yo, you guys are peanut butter. I got a bunch of jelly over here. They click on the jelly link, they buy, then you get a percentage of that, or you get something from that. This is the most immediate and most like the lowest hanging fruit way to make money from the list. You can make this these affiliate deals by just making deals with people that you know, like saying, hey, I'm gonna take, give me a link. Let's work out a deal, and every time they buy from me, I get this, or every time they buy from you, you get this. Whatever it is, you can do that with your network. Another easy way to do that is if you don't know people, you can just go and search affiliate network. And if you search affiliate networks, there's whole businesses out there that their whole job is to get affiliate offers. So you sign up with this affiliate network, you see their offers, you find the offer that makes the most sense for your list, and then you place it, you sign up, you get approved for it, and then you email it out to your list. Here is the key to making these things work. There's a term in our industry called pitch slapping. You will not make as much money from your list if you're always just pushing something, selling. Put yourself in their shoes. Who do you want to buy from if they're always in a what's in it for me mindset? You want to make sure that you're providing good content to people, and then these affiliate offers that you're providing them are actually helping them. I think it's better to go deep than wide. So I'd rather have 1 to 2 great affiliate offers than 20 or 30 and always be pitching. Have the 1 to 2, make sure it solves a problem, and then pitch it over and over again as it makes sense. At least do that initially when you're starting out. A good ratio, if you're starting out, is at the minimum 4 to 1. So 4 pieces of content to 1 pitch, 4 pieces of content to 1 pitch. There's some people who can pitch more, but that again takes some nuance and some skill and some time. If you're just starting out, don't over pitch people, otherwise you'll kill your list. And then make sure you're giving an appropriate amount of content before you try to sell something. I think the best way to do this is if you know for sure that whatever this offer that you have, this affiliate offer really helps people. If it really helps people, then, have at it. Moving on, packs. Packs are pretty simple. That's just like, you're like, yo, I have the peanut butter. You know this guy over here who has jelly, this girl over here who has the bread. You guys come together and make a deal. Another way I've seen that work is somebody was a fitness coach. They knew somebody who was in the mental health field. And they also knew somebody who was a nutritionist. They got together, boom, right? The ways to make money off of this are typically in the form of events. So you can have a local event, like a small local event or something that people fly into, or easier, you can do a virtual event. And then, so say you go the event route, there's a couple ways you can go about it. You can say, hey, I'm putting on the event. I am the peanut butter. And then I have peanut butter over here. I know you guys have jelly, you guys have bread. I'm putting on this event. If you want to come and pitch your jelly and pitch your bread, then you pay me a certain amount of money to come pitch it. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is say, hey, I have a list of peanut butter, you have a list of jelly, you have a list of bread. Let's share our list and put on a virtual or local event. Let's also go and advertise the event, and we'll split the cost of the advertisement and we'll split the leads. So you're sharing the cost, you're sharing the leads, then it gives you an opportunity to get in front of these people and sell something more. We'll talk about that here in a second. That selling more piece is big. What the main thing with this is, at a smaller level, this is done through small local events or virtual events. At a high level, you see this done in conferences. People will throw on conferences, and some people, they'll have people who paid a lot of money to get on that stage to get in front of you. They'll have people who paid a lot of money to be vendors at those conferences. That's kind of this whole pack thing at a higher level. The main way to make the most money off of this is to sell something high ticket. Let's say you have a $100 product, then a $2,000 product, then a $10,000 product. These events are your best way of selling your $10,000 product. And not just you, also the people that you're working with, the jelly and the bread over there. It's their best way of selling a high ticket item. You want high ticket stuff. One, because if you have that and you get in front of people, then you can sell that and make more money. But two, if you're putting it on yourself and the people that you're inviting in have a high ticket item, well, what does that mean for you? You can charge these people more because they're trying to sell something that costs significantly more. So these work very well, specifically when you have a high ticket item or the people that you're bringing in have a high ticket item. All right, upsells. We have all seen upsells and online upsells when you offer someone extra. So you offer them something extra right after they bought a product. And so it typically comes in a one-time deal or whatever. This happens to me all the time. So I buy something, I check out. As soon as I get done to the thank you page, they're like, hey, get this thing off, or get this thing for 80% off today, one-time deal. I buy it, boom, that's an upsell. If you sell a product or service, you should have an upsell. It is the lowest hanging fruit, one of the easiest ways to improve your average ticket. With these upsells, there's all kinds of ways to do it. You can, if you know some people, you have a pack, people, you can say, yo, I have this product. I'm going, when they buy it from me, I'm going to then pitch your product at a certain percentage off. Let's make a deal on how this looks. So they're like, okay, great. And then you guys work out some kind of deal because you're upselling their product. They're making money. You're making money. It's all great. You can, if you don't know anybody, you can go and just put an affiliate offer after somebody buys your product. Say, hey, here's this. You bought this. This has really worked for you. Check it out. Here's a deal. Boom. They click on it. They get the affiliate offer. Now you're making money that way as well. The main way these upsells work is it has to be a deal. And here's a transferable marketing or sales principle. People need a reason to buy, meaning they need to be able to explain to their significant other why they spent X amount of money on this thing. The easiest way to do that is to say, hey, it was a special deal. It was 80% off, or it was 50% off. I'm here in Texas. There's a store called Kohl's, some kind of department store. My wife always is justifying buying shit from them because they give her a Kohl's cash, just fake money. Whatever it is, it's basically their way of getting upsells and getting her to spend more money and time with that company. You need to do your version of that, and you can do that with an upsell by giving them a deal. Adjacents. All right, so adjacents are it's let's say, if we're talking about the whole peanut butter, jelly and bread thing. All right, so that's a sandwich, that's a direct thing. An adjacent market would be milk. It complements all that. So that's what adjacent is. It's not the exact same thing, but it complements what you sell. And so I'm hitting all kinds of buttons here. Let me go back. Okay, bam. All right, so I may or may not know something about this. Let's say you had a list of people who were into hip hop and R&B news, and then you knew some cat over here who sold black market J's. So this is a news site. This is a shoes site. These are not related fields at all. But the people who are into hip hop and R&B like J's, they have an affinity for that. So here's an adjacent market. You guys come together. You sell that. You could pitch the shoes or have the shoes advertised to your list. You guys work out a deal. I may or may not, know something about this. If you see me wearing these shoes, you already know. But that's an example. Or another way I saw it work was somebody had a list of business owners. They knew somebody who sold custom apparel and accessories. So business owners and custom apparel and accessories, two totally different fields. But if you own a business, that means you have a brand. And what can you do with that brand? You can put it on custom accessories, t-shirts, things like that. Drops. So think of these like digital billboards or a digital commercial. You're using your list as a commercial, and it's a fixed cost for every time somebody advertises on your list. So let me explain further. You get paid through something called CPM. By the way, this was huge for us. This is how we made a lot of money. This is how we made a lot of our money back on our political list that was kicking us in the balls. So it usually goes like this. You charge a fixed fee for every 1K people on your list, or for every 1,000 amount of people on your list, you charge a fixed fee. So let me try to explain this better. Let's say you had a list, you charge $100 for every 1K on your list. And let's say you had $8,000 or 8,000 people on your list, right? So you're saying, hey, I have 8,000 people on my list. I charge $100 for every 1K. So for you to promote your product on my list, it's going to cost you a flat fee of $800, regardless of whatever money you make or not. So it's not an affiliate offer. That's not a rev share offer. It's just like, hey, it's a flat fee. Place your product on my list. Here's an example of how it would be. So let's say it was an email. You email out to your people or whatever, and then boom, somebody you did a deal with, they basically buy a billboard or buy a spot. This works a lot if you see this in newsletters, by the way, which we'll talk about in the future. But you'll see it at the top, middle, or bottom where somebody just posts a product. That's usually a fixed cost right there. Again, it's like a digital billboard. Your people are paying to get eyeballs on their product. The best way to make this work is, one, obviously to have a massive list. The bigger your list, the more you can charge. But then two, you want to have a massive list that actually opens your emails. So you can go to people and say, hey, I have this list of a bajillion people. They open at this percentage. I can guarantee this amount of eyeballs on your product. Well, if that's the case, now you can charge even more for every 1,000 people on your list. Yo, thanks for bearing with me. The brain is getting warmed up here. I'm getting out of the COVID flu, whatever that is. In the next video, we are going to talk about the big money ways to make money off your list. All right, so let's talk about the second category, which is the biggest category or the biggest way for you to make money off of your list. By the way, if you hear noise, my daughter's out there making pancakes. She's 7 years old. She can give two shits about me recording this for you. Let me backtrack. She cares. If I tell her to be quiet, she'll be quiet for all of, 10, 20 seconds. Then she'll forget and she'll be loud again. And I'm trying not to trip. She's 7. I want to let her be 7, enjoy these moments, even enjoy these frustrations, because I'm not going to have the opportunity to have these frustrations because she's going to get older and I'm going to miss her. I'm rambling. Let me get back to the lecture at hand. Networks, the big category. So think of networks as a marketplace for leads. So they buy and you supply. It's harder to do these. It's harder than the first way, or it can be, depending, right? But it's harder than the first category I was talking about, but the returns can be much bigger. When I say harder, again, that depends. It could be easier just depending on what you got going on. But I love it because there are several ways to make money here, but we'll focus on the opportunities that I know of. Let's start with private. This is going to be the hardest one, so I want to start with the hardest one first, but this is also one of the biggest revenue drivers. This is big boy stuff right here. So again, you have these networks. You can go to these networks. These networks have connections they plug you with for you to make money. So you go to the network has connections, they plug you with the connections, then they make a cut off of whatever you make from their connections. Now, private is you removing the network. It's you going direct to the connect. Big money here. Here's an example. I know a cat who did a deal with Agora Financial. Cut out the middleman. His leads went to Agora. He delivered. Agora backed up a truck full of money and dumped it at his front door. These can be very lucrative if you can land a private deal. The key to landing your private deals is to be able to, one, you got to hustle and make the deal happen. But in order to make it happen, you got to prove that you can make it happen. So if you're just starting, don't go after some big fish like Agora because you have no proof. But as you go through the steps and you start to get proof of concept, you start making connections, you can make a private deal. And if you make that, super lucrative because you cut out the middleman. But speaking of the middleman, let's get back to this right here. Newsletters. I want you pay attention here because newsletters are going to be kind of the theme of the rest of this video. I love newsletters. Think of a newsletter as they're like regular emails that contain content and news. And they're super easy to do. I mean, some people, all they do is aggregate news. So they'll have a newsletter, different ways to monetize it. And their newsletter will just be like links out to other articles. Like it'll be like, hey, you won't believe what this senator in South Dakota did. And you click on it and then links you out to another article. So you have newsletters that just aggregate news. You have newsletters that write content, whatever it is. But I love these. You can build a list using the ways we talked about in the prior videos. But I like them again because I believe a newsletter gives the everyday person the most opportunity to make money from their list. And you can use a network, which we'll talk about here in a second, to help you monetize your list. And right now, as I record this, I think newsletters are one of the biggest financial opportunities that nobody's talking about. At least for the next 4 to 5 years, they will be there. You have mom and pop shops starting newsletters, making big money. We'll talk about it more lately. But here's an example of a newsletter. If you have a list, sell your leads, make money from that list using the ways we talked about, but also make a newsletter out of it because as you see, there's going to be several ways to make money here. One of the most immediate ways is co-reg. So co-registration is signing up for one thing online and getting the option to join related services by checking a box. So this is what I mean by that. Say you were the Tiger Woods type. This is an old school one. So you're the Tiger Woods type. You go to golf.com, you sign up for their newsletter. Then you see right here where it says tablet, severe weather, instant tax help, so on and so forth. Every time somebody selects one of these, golf.com gets paid a certain amount of money. That's co-registration. So you have your newsletter, people sign up, you then recommend other newsletters, and then when they select those, you get paid money for that. You can set these up several different ways, but the networks give you the easiest opportunity to do that. So this is what I mean by network. One network is Substack. I love Substack because it's like, think of Substack as a place that you can take your list and they help you make a newsletter, and they also help you. You can do a subscription, right? So you can have people pay or subscribe to your newsletter, or you can do it for free. But Substack is that middleman that's going to help you make more money. Again, you can have people subscribe to your newsletter, or Substack's going to help you get ads. Substack will help you do co-reg, like we just talked about. You can put affiliate offers there. You can put your offers. I can go on for days, but you can see the several different ways you can make a bunch of money sending out one email, one newsletter consistently. So anyway, Substack is a network. And let's say you sign up with Substack and you put your list on Substack and you're using Substack to do your newsletter. Substack will give you the co-reg option. So Substack will say, hey, here are all our vendors right now. You'd pick your 10 and you'd say, hey, okay, I want to recommend these 5 to 10 after somebody signs up with me. And every time somebody signs up with that, you end up getting paid money. Beehive is just like Substack, right? Except I think the difference is Substack, in my opinion, is for the everyday person, mom and pop, trying to do a newsletter, make a little money, pay some bills. Beehive is for those who are trying to make this a real business, a real big business. One of the reasons they're able to do that is because they have much more data on your audience. The better you understand your audience, the better you're able to analyze your audience, the better you're able to help them, therefore make more money. Here's an example of how Beehive does co-reg. Again, they sign up for your newsletter, boom, some recommendations come up that you suggested, and you get paid anytime somebody selects on one of these. Now, here's the thing. These recommendations you put in here, they could pay you $2, they could pay $20, they could pay $5, they could pay $50. Just depends on what you're in. Certain niches are gonna pay more than others. So if you have a cooking newsletter and it has a bunch of recipes, you're not going to be able to monetize it as well as somebody who has a financial newsletter. Again, if you have a cooking newsletter, you're not going to be able to monetize it as well as somebody who has a weight loss or a beauty newsletter. Certain niches make more money than others. Doesn't mean you can't make money from the cooking newsletter, especially if you've got a big one and you're getting ads in there. You can still make money. But I'm saying co-reg opportunities, some of these other things, certain niches are going to pay more than others. The key with your recommendation is if you have a cooking newsletter, don't sit there and start offering financial newsletters or fantasy football newsletters or whatever it is. You want to make sure that the newsletters that you recommend are somewhat connected to your audience. You want to make sure that it makes sense for that person to say, you know what, I like this and I might like these as well. No point in putting up these high dollar newsletter recommendations if nobody's clicking on them. So just think of your audience, look at your recommendations and see what fits, and then suggest them and make some money from that. Third-party co-reg. So this is going outside of the network. Think of this almost like private. So now you have the network, you decide to cut out the middleman, go straight to the third party. Here's an offer of a third party, or here's an example of a third party. They're called after offers. The good thing about these third-party co-reg sites that you can work with is that you can make a lot more money because you cut out the middleman. The bad side is that you can't, it's hard to find these for every single niche. So your bigger niches, your health, your wealth, love, things in those categories, you're probably going to be able to find a third party site that will work with you and give you bigger payouts. But if you're doing something very specific, niche specific, it's going to be hard to find a third party vendor for really niche things. That's why Substack and Beehive are good, because you can get all types of newsletters, and they'll have something for your different niche. So anyways, that is that for this one. Ads they work similar to drops. We talked about drops in the last video. The difference here though is when you're working with a network, you have a bigger opportunity to work with bigger fish. And I love ads. Again, I keep saying this, but there's so many different ways to monetize your newsletter. So let's just say you just did ads. You can have an ad at the top, similar to what you see right here, together with Read Partner at the very top of this newsletter. Read Partner paid a lot of money for that, because typically with a newsletter, the top pays the most. You have people pay the most to be at the top. Middle is going to be the middle cost, obviously, and then the bottom is going to be the least expensive spot. So top, middle, bottom. You have ads there, and you have people paying for that, and they're paying the drop thing, where it could be CPM or whatever it is. And the beautiful thing about a network is, unlike the last video where I just said, hey, you do a drop, that's usually you working a private deal. The network will provide you with some big fish. If you are doing big things and you're growing your newsletter, then you'll have big companies come to you, or the network will put them in front of you. Obviously they get a cut, but who cares, because you wouldn't have got that deal without them. Again, I just love these networks because they make it easier. You don't have to have all these connections. They just do it for you, and you pay them a little fee for doing that for you. I love it. And then one of the biggest ways, probably the biggest way to make money off your newsletter. So again, you could do ads for your newsletter. You could do subscriptions. You could do co-reg. You could do affiliate offers. You could do your offers. There's so many different ways, again, to make money off of that. But the biggest way to make money is to sell your newsletter. Your newsletter is an asset. It is a business, and it's beautiful because if you have a newsletter process, especially if you're using Substack or Beehive, and you have a process that doesn't require you can sell this thing for a lot of money. Here's an example of one that sold here recently. It is Morning Brew. They sold for $75 million. This wasn't some big company that started a newsletter. These cats started out of their crib, started out of their home. There's another one called Newsette, which I showed earlier. I think that's valued north of 100 million for sure. Conservatively north of 100 million. Started out of her apartment. At the moment of recording this, I can't say it enough. I think for the next 4 or 5 years, this is going to be one of the biggest business opportunities that people won't know about until it's too late. And all of a sudden you're hearing about people starting newsletters. One of the biggest things you can start from your own crib. And then smaller ones. This one sold for $75 million, but there's tons of them selling for under $5 million. Would you want $5 million for a newsletter? Putting up something that you're just giving out information for, and the entire time you're kind of monetizing through these several different ways. Big opportunity. I'm going to make a course on this where I show you how to do it, or I have you watch me do it, or both. If you're watching me, then it shows you how. So we'll see, but I'm going to do a course on this alone, because now you have a list building method. Hopefully, if you watch the other videos, you know how to build a list. You can take that list, sell those leads. You can also start a newsletter. This is its own business, its own opportunity. Let me show you one of the cats that I'm modeling. This cat is doing 130 million a year. He is the co-reg king of one of the kings of newsletters, and I know about his business because I know somebody who knows him. This dude's smart, and he's making so much money. He basically owns a small city. Like, he owns all the big buildings there. He owns all these little shops. Like, the dude owns the city all off of a newsletter. So I'm watching his stuff. He owns Market Beat. I encourage you to do what I'm doing. When I start my newsletter, I'm looking at what he's doing, and I'm trying to mimic that. And then so maybe you watch me do this, or maybe I show you how, but let me go into this. Check out what he does right here. he has a free trial offer at the top right there. You do the free trial, I forget how long it is, but eventually when the free trial is done, it's a $20 subscription, right? So he's not doing it through the newsletter. He's getting this straight subscription fee that goes right to him. That's one way he makes it. Look at the bottom right there where it says subscribe to MarketBeat daily ratings, right? 100% free. You get on his newsletter, he's going to monetize it in all the ways I just talked about. He's going to have ads there. He's going to have affiliate offers. He's going to have co-raise and all these things, but then also he's going to pitch you again on subscribing to his site. So this guy's like using every single way to make money here possible. And again, I can't say enough. You go to this newsletter thing he's doing, he's making all the money there, but he's also reselling you on how to sign up for the free trial. I think what he's doing is really smart. Here's an example of the co-reg. So you sign up, whether it's a free trial or the newsletter thing, you go through his co-reg thing. You select these. He's in the finance space. He's making money from any one of these that you select. And these are mainly private deals, I believe, or there might be after offers. I don't know which one he's doing. I think it's after offers and some private. Cat's making money anytime you select one of these. You get to the thank you page. What do you see here? More co-reg. What else do you see in the middle of that? That's an ad. He's making money just right here. So even if you signed up for a free trial or you sign up for his free newsletter, you go through this, he's getting paid out of the way. It's brilliant. Now, here is where I think he's making some of his, or this is where I think he's making most of his money. I have no clue. I wasn't told this. This is just me watching what he's doing and peeping game. And so, like I said, newsletters will have an ad at the top, middle, and bottom oftentimes, right? So he has all that going on. But check this out to the right corner where it says Delta stock to take flight. You see that? Then again, he pitches you on the newsletter. And then boom, over there, NVIDIA, how to play NVIDIA's earnings or whatever it is. Another video. So you had a Delta video and you had a NVIDIA video. That's hard to say. This dude's doing $130 million a year. I know he's making money from co-reg. I know he's making money from ads. I know he's making money from every way you can make money with a newsletter. But like 130 million is a lot of dollars, like a lot of money. So I can't help but feel that some of these videos that he puts here on his site or on his newsletters are sponsored. He's in the financial space. As long as he discloses it somewhere on his site, he can get sponsors and then do videos for them, which not a lot of people are doing. And he's got big companies like Delta and NVIDIA who have marketing budgets just to throw away. I believe this is one way that he's doing, or the one thing that he's doing that most people aren't, to help him go north of 130 million. I think it is brilliant. This guy is using every part of the chicken. I am mimicking him, and I want to show you exactly what I'm mimicking. I might show you how I built mine. I might build one live with you, or just show you how to do it. But I wanted to give you an example of what I'm watching when I do my next newsletter. Yo, what up? All right, so here's one more thing that I've never talked to anybody about, and I'll share it with you, and I hope it helps. So when I'm learning something new and I want to get good at it, I find myself doing this pattern where I learn, I do, and then I repeat. So I learn the task, I then go do it. After I've done it, I've gained experience, I go back to learning. This is the repeat part. Then I go do it, gain more experience, and I go back to learning, and then I go do it. It creates this feedback loop that helps me have a deeper understanding of the topic. And we've all done this. If you ever had a job, I'm sure you've had a job, but if you've ever had like on the job training, that first, month, 30 days, 90 days, whatever it is, you don't know what's going on, but they tell you this thing, whatever it is, you're like, okay, whatever. Then you go do it. You have a better understanding. Now you go back to what they tell you. Your level of understanding of the original task has changed because you had experience. I do this throughout my entire life. This is a transferable principle. My parents are Jamaican. I did this with learning how to do jerk chicken. Learned it from my mom, did it, had to refine it, went back to learning with new questions, did it, had to refine it, went back to learning with new questions. Now it's good. I do this in jiu-jitsu. I do this in business. If I hire a consultant to help me with something, they tell me something, it's theory, I go do it, then I go back to the recording. I record the videos and watch it again because my understanding has changed. Why am I telling you this? I've given you a whole bunch of game on the whole list building thing, but I think it's not going to matter until you go do it. And then when you come back and watch some of this stuff, your level of understanding is going to change. But this is just not isolated to the list building thing and building a customer list. This is a concept that's helped, at least it's helped me significantly in my personal and professional life. So take it for what it's worth. I appreciate you spending time watching these videos. I mean, if you got here and you're watching this, I wish I could like transfer the feeling of appreciation I have. Anyways, talk to you later. Peace.